Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2022 and the Cyber Monday show. We have an absolute, just awesome show here in store, and we're going to get started with all of that right after this. And of course, I mean, what would this show be without Maekshyft? Sir, how's it going?
What's going on, dude?
You are frozen. It is that cold outside.
Dude, listen, I was wearing a hoodie earlier.
There you go. Awesome. Well, we have an awesome show in store. We are joined by Eric Bellardo, the XSS Rat, Davin Jackson, a.k.a. Alpha Cybersec. He is gone. Andrew Chantaphone and Kalila Scott. Butchered it. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, amazing hackers. Thanks
Well,
for
did
having
everybody
us.
have a great New Year? Any cool stories or anything?
I spent it by myself and I fell asleep at 9:45, so
Same.
I adulted that one out.
Well, I made it to 11.
No, I made it. I made it. I might have. Thanks, baby. I might have. Did I take a nap earlier in the day? I don't know.
Oh, that's cheating, dude.
Yeah.
So nah, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Key, what's up?
Hey, still a little bit under the weather, so yeah. But it was an all right New Year's. I mean, other than it sounding like a baby Afghanistan over here in my neighborhood, like they lit it up. So Sora was not happy, but I was definitely up throughout the New Year playing some Resident Evil.
Hey.
Where's Sora?
So.
Where is he?
Oh, he's downstairs. Yeah, he not potty trained for upstairs on the carpet yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
we keep him downstairs.
Yeah, Kai keeps running back and forth, so he might make an appearance.
Well, I appreciate all of you guys joining today. Apart from just kind of catching up with all of you guys real quick, I kind of want to just be able to sync up here before the new year, go through some goals, some resolutions, anything that you hope to see through the industry this year, any concerns you have about cybersecurity threats. And already we've probably, covered about, 5 hours of conversation. So, let's we can start with the top. Any goals or any kinds of New Year's resolutions anyone wants to share?
Whew.
I get my wrong.
Ladies
Fine, I'll go first.
Ladies first is 2022. Ladies first.
You're right. Leila, you're up.
Yeah, ladies first. Makeshift.
Yeah. I think some of the goals that I have, the first one being is finishing up school, graduating in February. So I'm excited to be a college graduate, getting my degree. The second is to just kind of ramp up things with the TechSec Chicks. Again, we definitely are moving towards becoming a nonprofit. I want to put together a few things. I'm not going to go into complete detail about everything, but I definitely want to get a few programs going with the squad. They are kind of on board and ready. Again, I'm just wrapping up school, so I can just have a lot more time to really focus on the group and doing like some study sessions and just some little fun things that we can do with everyone. But that's kind of all I got. And also to relax this year, just take it a little bit more easy, and be okay with just saying no sometimes.
Yeah. Celebrate the little wins. Always celebrate the little wins, man. Big ones too.
Excuse me, y'all. Who's next?
Now we'll go with Makeshift.
Okay.
And then we'll go top,
Some goals of mine are just to kind of keep hacking. Kind of took a mad break from it for many, many months. And then I had I tried to kind of get back into it a little bit with what was it, Advent of Cyber, and I got busy because of the holidays and everything. So I think like the start of this year and everything going into 2022, I'm gonna start hacking some more. Definitely gonna try to go after that PNPT cert from Cyber Mentor, and yeah, and just kind of keep working on things with Republic of Hackers. We got a bunch of stuff in the lineup, the things that we want to do and get done, and so been actually had a pretty big meeting about stuff today. So yeah, we're ramping up some stuff over on that end too. That's about it.
Exciting.
All right, my turn. Okay, so Raíces Cyber is growing exponentially right now. We have a lot of great goals and aspirations for this year. We're setting up a goal of 100 Hispanics in cyber by 2020, by the end of 2022. And we are working with a lot of nonprofits, and we're going to be meeting in DC for some congressional support that we're going to get. So that's going to be very, very exciting. And we're working on a bunch of programs, educational programs, support programs, mentoring programs. That's on the foundation side of the house. On the personal side, there's some stuff that's going to be coming up here soon in the mentoring, education, and kind of job support for people that are with all the different minority groups. So stand by for that. But we've got a lot of stuff that we're working on for this year.
Awesome. That's exciting.
And what I meant was apprenticeship programs. That's what I was looking for. Got it.
That's awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So for me, I got basically 3 goals this year. First is a non-infosec related one. It's more test automation. There's a new language in test automation called Cypress. So I want to learn Cypress. I want to get a training in that. Also want to get my OSWE, possibly. Not sure about that yet. And of course, I signed with EC Council to provide some courses for them. And I want to make that more. Thank you. Really appreciate that. I have 3 courses with them now, and I'm creating a 4th one. But of course, my goal is to make that more than what I have already.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty packed year. I'm pointing on to Devin now, but you guys can't see that.
Oh man. I think 2022 is weird because I'm trying to take a step back a little bit, but I'm also trying to go all in. So it's like a make or break year. Yeah, that's my life, Eric. Uh but yeah, I'm trying to I guess the main goal is I'm gonna bust my behind this year so I can, I don't know, start riding off into the sunset in the following years. So this will be my make or break year for InfoSec Unplugged and Alpha Cybersecurity. I got some things already lined up. Trying to see where that goes. As far as certifications, I don't really have any actual certification goals, which is weird this time around. There's some that's just like, if it pops up, cool. If not, I'm not really making it a big deal. I might look into some cloud and cloud pen testing stuff. And I want to get my API hacking course out this year. So that's gonna be that's one of the priorities. Relaunching alphacybersecurity.tech, or redoing that website. InfoSec Unplugged will probably have an audio component now. So for those who, for some reason, don't like seeing my beautiful face every Thursday, now you can just listen to my voice and the voice of my guest. But I'm gonna be doing that. That should be launching soon. And then, yeah, like I said, there's a couple other things I can't quite speak on just yet publicly until till everything is signed and we're good to go. But we'll see where it goes.
Hey, man,
You have
remind
an
me,
amazing show coming up on Thursday, don't you?
No.
Got him.
Yes. No. Yeah. I do. I have an amazing guest on Thursday. He may or may not be here. Who just asked me about it. But yes, I will have Eric on Thursday, and then I'm actually next Tuesday will be InfoSec Unplugged. This is going to be a couple days early, but for good reason because I will have Dave Kennedy as my guest. So I don't know. We haven't agreed on how much time he had, but I'm going to squeeze as much time as I can to get as many gems from him as possible. So make sure you guys tune in for that one as well. So I have Eric on Thursday, David on Tuesday, and then I'll probably replay Dave on Thursday.
So hey everybody. So first of all, for the person right the ours, this is my Spurs right here. So I'm gonna kiss the badge real quick on that one. Just let
Can y'all hear? I can't hear him.
Hey,
Yeah,
Andrew, we can't hear you, which is a good thing that you were giving props to Tottenham while you were saying all that. We couldn't hear you because they are totally undeserving. They're like the Seahawks of soccer.
Hey, it's funny. Now he's completely muted.
Yeah, we lost him. We lost. See, this is what Tottenham does. This is what the Hotspurs do to people. They completely just destroy things, destroying the Premier League. I'm kidding. I'm messing around.
I was going to say, did you horn your mic?
Did I horn my mic? Yeah. You still hear me?
Well, I wanted to let everybody that's watching know that this is actually the roast of Andrew. Welcome. This is the first ever.
Well, this is what happens when you don't know identity and access management. So you can't get your phone working here.
That would be, man, can you imagine an InfoSec roast? We don't even need it. It happens already. But anyway. Andrew,
we do it every day. What are you talking about?
I was gonna say I'll probably never get invited to one of those.
What's up?
Yep, I think we can hear you a little bit.
A little bit. Hold on.
There you go.
Hey, how's that? Is this better?
Yep, perfect.
Yes. Yeah. It's Monday, right? Shoveling snow all damn day, you know? This is what happens to me, you know? So what can I do? So, all right. Sorry about that, everybody. My bad. But yes, Spurs all the way, baby. You know, love them. Anyway, goals for this year for me. From a YouTube channel perspective, just more and more videos. I'm very excited to just drop more videos out there, trying to bring out more if I can, but obviously with the family and everything, it's been a little bit harder for me, but I'm trying my best to get good content. Obviously I do a lot of research, so I want to make sure I give you guys good stuff, right? And not some fluff that I just made up. So hopefully more videos this year comes from my channel. That'd be awesome. From a personal level, 2 certs I want to go for: AWS cloud certification, so practitioner, just a very simple certification there. The ID Pro, which is an identity organization that I'm a part of. They just came out with new certification for identity access management. Since there's not that many, versus like, Davin, you, Eric, all that, your different pen testing ones, your ethical hacking, the different, those different kind of certifications. Identity doesn't already have one. We have 2 kind of organizations that have them. So kind of want to get one of those out the door just to, represent the organization and to see, do I know my stuff, right? In terms of identity, since I am doing a channel about it. So that'd be a nice one too. So those are just personal level. And then I'm starting a new job on Wednesday. So I'm going to be leading a identity team. This is a big step for me because I came from the consulting world. So a lot of my, my experience was professional services. So now I'm leading a whole team.
That was me, sorry.
No, Davin, you're good, buddy. Bridgeport represent. I'm just kidding. I always want to do that to you, man. I don't know why. You always say that's where you're from. I just want to just do that for fun.
Just a kid from Bridgeport, yeah.
That's right, man. Unlike me, yeah, just big position, big for me. I just want to be a good team leader. I'm going to be leading a whole team terms of IM people, getting the internal company, with the product they're working on. So that's a big step for me. So I'm excited there. So that's pretty much it in terms of personal goals and things I want to do for this year. And then of course, I get to be honored to be on Davin's show in February, so I'm excited for that too. So
February 17th.
that's right. I'll be sure to try to keep as PG-13 as I can. If that's what comes up.
Do you know what show you're going
Have you
on?
seen his show?
I know that's the best part. So I think I can be unfiltered, which is even more fun for me.
Yeah, but just PG-13.
No, yeah, nah.
Do you know Davin?
Okay, and
I don't know. I don't
all...
listen, guys. Hold on. It's a new year and a new me. I'm gonna behave myself. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better behaved this year.
Yeah, and can we all talk about Andrew's Twitter on Sundays while he's watching football?
Oh, if the Spurs are on or Seahawks are on, my Twitter just blows up with how I feel, and I try my best to try to be very nice about it, but sometimes bad words do come out of there.
That's
the only
kind of
time.
why I keep. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I have my personal Twitter, and that's the Chiefs Twitter, and I'll spew my thoughts. Which boy did I have thoughts on Sunday about my Chiefs? Oh man, yeah, no, it's lovely, and I feel so bad that you're a Seahawks fan because what a year. It's okay.
That's all right.
It's okay.
I mean, it could be worse. You guys could have Antonio Brown running off the field. I mean, or you could be a Giants fan like me. So,
I mean, hey, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, so I feel you guys.
I mean, Giants threw for negative 10 yards.
No way. Did they really? I'm going to check that. I'm going to check that here in a second. Before I check that, last year I want to get your guys' thoughts. Last year we saw some absolutely wild things happen in cyberspace. It was just constant, and the scale seemed to just almost increase with every single event. What is something that you might be a little concerned about going into 2022, given the precedent, if that has an impact from 2021?
I'm sorry, I went out. Repeat that question.
Basically, given the events that happened in 2021, what are your guys' thoughts about 2022? Any cyber threats, anything like that? And real quick, before we do anything, the very first super chat the channel's ever had from Conda. I want to thank you, Conda. That is fantastic. To celebrate, I'm going to give away 1 month of Try Hack Me. So we'll come up with a plan to do that in this stream. But anyway, 2022 cyber threats, given the pace, given the scope, given everything that just happened in 2021, what's something that concerns you going into 2022?
I'm going to jump in and I'm going to steal most people's probably answer here. I do not think that we have seen the end of Log4j. And I think everybody here can agree on that. I just think that there's going to be something else that's big, that's going to be monumental. And it's going to send us for a whole other whirlwind of adventures, just like the first round of it did. And I also think that we are, and knock on wood, I hope to dear God that I'm wrong on this, but I have a bad feeling too that we are going to have another big nation state cyber attack against us or whatever. It's going to be, something along the colonial pipeline type thing or whatever. It's almost kind of we're due for one, which is sad to say, but I feel like it's just kind of, no pun intended, in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna probably say I don't think we're out of the woods with Log4j either, and obviously the ransomware is going to just keep increasing because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And unfortunately, we ain't fixing much on our end for companies. So phishing's gonna ramp up, especially after there was the Robin Hood breach, and then there was a breach, I believe, I can't remember, but yeah, So they literally have millions, if not billions, of email addresses to play around with. So that's gonna ramp up. As we see more with the crypto stuff and NFTs, regardless of what side of the fence you are with them, there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more attacks based around there. You're going to see a lot of phishing or fraud going within the NFT space. Um, so yeah, and whatever the metaverse is going to bring us. So, because I mean that thing. I mean, granted, I know they've been working on it for years, but I just don't feel comfortable about it for multiple reasons. But I just feel like that's going to be another major attack vector. And like Meg said, yeah, I think we're not that we're due, but if we don't get our shit together. I don't know if that was the first cuss word on your stream for 2022, but but if we don't,
Celebrate it too.
if we
Hey.
don't, if we don't get our collective, you know what, together, we're gonna get hit, and we're gonna get hit hard. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and especially the infrastructure is something that we should take a lot of care in protecting, like those critical things like power grids and pipelines, like you said. Those are going to be very important, but also hospitals. There are so many hospitals running on outdated software. It's scary, and they hold a lot of personal data as well.
Yeah,
And besides all of that, of course, also the new stuff. But I think that a lot of, like, for me, it always takes a while before new stuff gets adopted nationwide. And before that time, there's always this transitional period where people don't update their software. And there's like a lot of hidden 0 days that are going to be popping up. And what I'm mostly scared of is that they're already exploited, but we just don't know it yet. And then if we someday get to see their actual impact, then we might see that it's already much too late, and maybe all her files are gone or something like that, or they might hit the DNS server or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Hospitals, especially. I mean, hospitals are still running what XP.
Yeah.
I mean,
95.
I tested. Yeah, I was about to say, I keep.
And you know what? The reason I'm shaking my head, yes, is because I actually saw in real life. I had worked at a hospital for like a contractor's position, and down in the basement, one computer was running Vista,
Mhm.
and another one was running XP. Then there was another one-off room that had like Windows 8. Like it was just crazy. And I also found like a real life old school pencil sharpener down there, which not sure why.
That's a bad sign.
Well, but the thing is, I think they suffer from the same thing that a lot of like the SCADA systems do, where it's the software to run those particular programs or whatever. They can't be put on some of these newer operating systems, and trying to update that is just it's way more trouble than it's worth. So they just are like, okay, we'll just keep them on these old OSs, and you know.
So whose back do we need to kick in to get it right? Is it the vendors? Is it, because that's mainly the problem, right? A lot of
Yeah.
the stuff is it's a vendor software or a vendor application, and they don't want to update their stuff or patch their stuff because now they would have to push all out to their customers or retrain on it. Again, it's that age old argument of security versus convenience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Well, you guys, some of you know that I worked in healthcare and critical infrastructure, hospitals, power, wind, and all those other things. When it comes to the hospital and what you guys are talking, think about it this way. A hospital buys a pump infuser, okay? So the thing that goes into your IV.
Mhm.
Once that device is built and sent, there's very little way other than physical to do an update to that device. So those devices, old devices, I'm talking about the older ones, not the newer ones, but the older devices that are in most hospitals are embedded XP, or some of them have ME, and some of those old operating systems. So if you're able to compromise those through the network when they're connected by Ethernet, you're dealing with stuff that can be exploited very easily. When it comes to the actual hospitals, people don't understand that a very large percentage, I think about 70% of hospitals are nonprofits. So they can't invest into their infrastructure. So it happens like things like what Kalila said. They will have old computers running 98, ME, 2000, all these other things, and only their front end is modern, and I'll say it that way. My thing with this year is when I look at the geopolitical, we've got the situation in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the situation in China. We have all the different geopolitical hotspots right now. And if we look at what's happening between, in Ukraine, there's a very large cyber component of what's happening right now. If everybody wants to do some learning, go look at Sandworm. What Sandworm did to the Ukraine was the first, I think it was the first attack that went into the physical.
Yeah, it had kinetic consequences.
Yeah. And we just had situations last year in the state of Florida where somebody compromised a water plant.
Mhm.
So real life, like we were saying, that's that CI pipeline that we have, that critical infrastructure pipeline. And the problem is the bad guys and the good guys, and we talk about that all the time, is the bad guys don't have rules. They go and do their stuff. They don't have to have a CISSP or a PNPT, or I always get that one wrong. PNPT, right?
PNPT.
PNT, okay. OJ something. I'm a blue guy. What do you guys expect?
I am too.
I just had this thought. I mean, look around this stream and think of like all the areas of cybersecurity that are represented here. We got blue team, we got management, we've got bug bounty and offensive security and application security.
GRC.
GRC. Yeah, I mean, like this is a wild this is a wild stream, and
I was going to say we're supposed to be cussing at each other and saying not nice things.
See, but I mean, this is the thing. Like, we can
Teamwork makes the dream
definitely.
work, brother.
But like in the military, we always bust on the Marines, the Air Force,
Right.
the Army, but attack us, and we're all coming at you. And that's what you're seeing here on the screen. But that's going to be the big thing.
I think for sure. I think the difference with us and a lot of other people is that we know there's lots to learn from one another. When you have a squad where you can reach out to somebody that specializes in IM, somebody that specializes in application security, pen testing, things like the fact that I have these type of resources, not everybody has that. So I'm very grateful because, again, I know there's not a question that I can come up with or come across and not have anybody to ask about that information. So I just think it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Eric, I kind of want to build off of your point. This is a slight bit of a tease for my Friday release, but I talk about this. And one of the things that I think about is how, like, a cyber criminal, time doesn't, I mean, how much, and you definitely correct me if you guys see other things, but how much does time really matter to a cyber criminal? Like, if they have access, aren't they more willing to deploy ransomware now as opposed to, say, a threat actor associated with a military, like in, say, Ukraine? Like, you have the GRU. and they're able to gain access the past 7 years that they've been fighting in Ukraine, and they're just waiting. They, aside from the massive power outage that happened a few years ago, like what reason would they have to really use that access for kinetic effect before they make any kind of armed push into eastern Ukraine?
You answered your own question. That's the first thing you do. You attack. You bring it to the kinetic side of the house. You cause commotion. You cause issues, and that's going to take some of the eyes off of what they need to be looking at. So cyber in the offensive side of the house, not like we talk about, hacking and stuff like that. In the offensive side of the house, what are you trying to cause? Commotion, misinformation, disinformation, and you're trying to avoid that other person to have the resources that they need. Your third party, your logistics, all of that.
And back to the point that we were just talking about a couple minutes ago, this is why groups need to come together. This is why Red, Blue, IAM, Cloud, GRC, software development, that's why we need to come together and hash these issues out and have like really productive threat modeling meetings where we throw the kitchen sink at the whiteboard and figure out how this could happen and pick each other's minds to figure it to protect it. Because believe it or not, some of these attackers or ransomware groups or whatever, they don't know exactly what they're doing, but their documentation is fucking immaculate. Have you seen the Conti ransomware group's documentation? Like, I can give that to a 5-year-old. Like it literally breaks it down, and it's efficient. Meanwhile, and Uncle Rat could attest to this from a bug bounty perspective. We're still fighting about why certain things don't show enough impact.
Yeah, definitely. And bug bounties is especially a big problem. It's like, okay, I found an open redirect, but I don't have enough impact. It's not gonna get accepted. Well, then what's the point? And something that I really hate about ethical hacking is that once you get a foothold, you can't go any further. It's like, yeah, okay, we have a foothold now. That's it. I need to report this immediately. Well, OSCP has taught me that I can get a privilege escalation as well, which is much more fun. And doing a pen test has sort of brought that back for me. In my pen tests, I make sure that I can go all the way and just not touch any data and all of that stuff. But it's sort of like, for me, what I found out is that bug bounties is fun in the sense that they don't care about scope, they don't care about timing, you don't have a contract with the company, but they're gonna get very uptight about results.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
fun
one.
until the triage.
Yep, exactly. And even the surest report that you're super sure of can get denied. Like, don't expect anything. Even if I report something today and I report something exactly the same tomorrow but on a different endpoint, it might get a different result because of the triager that's different.
Well, Rat, I'm going to ask you a question. I want to collaborate with you on doing a tutorial on how to do F12 hacking. And
Hey, Scott, you see, they're really trying to pursue charges against
they
the
are trying to
reporter.
pursue charges.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. How many millions of dollars was that investigation to?
Who cares?
Who cares?
I mean, to me, that's their MO, right? Like, who cares? I just want to do it for. I feel like there's got to be something they're distracting from, because if you mean to tell me that hitting F12 is a federal offense.
Well, as a someone that grew up in Missouri, have you seen Ozark?
Yes,
that's all.
I love that show. I'm actually it's supposed to be coming back this month.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Y'all are about to learn about my origin story. It's gonna be awesome. He's so good.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Yeah, right. The banjo's still in the corner, along with the giant mountain of fentanyl and cash. It's awesome. Well, anyway.
We said we were going to talk about drugs in this show.
Shoot, yeah, crap. That's on me. That's on me. See, but we already had like the first cuss, so I feel like the breach has occurred. We're off to the races here.
And there goes the monetization.
You're
But
welcome.
when Davin was talking about what the and the rat was talking about, the attackers, they don't have to go through all the stuff that we have to go, the bureaucratic stuff that we
red
have to
tape.
go, the red tape, we're trying to defend something, but we have to go through all this red tape to be able to do a patch. And there's an open window. Go ahead and close it. We'll deal with the paperwork later.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies can't wrap their heads around that.
Well,
And
even on the offensive side, I mean, to do a 1 week pen test assessment is usually takes 3 weeks of scoping and getting permission and getting the access and don't run into a company that will scope creep and change this. I've literally had that happen where they've changed the assessment mid scope changed the scope mid assessment because they couldn't fix the cross-site request forgery vulnerability that I found.
And you only do it in this time because this is when, look, it's real. It's happening. It's going to happen to anybody. The attacker doesn't have to ask permission to hack you. They're going to do it. So we need to start changing our perspective. And this is not security. We're talking, and I say this all the time, we talk in our echo chambers. Okay. All of us know what needs to happen. All of us know that we need to all get together. Like Devin said, figure out the threat models. How do we defend? How do we attack? How do we figure how to defend ourselves better? But it's the companies, the other side, the leadership that needs to realize, listen, we've got to take this serious. And yes, it is a cost center. Yes, it is all these different things why we don't invest in security. But one event can take your company down. Last year, of the small and mid-sized businesses that got attacked, 60% of them did not return to operations.
Yeah.
And lost their businesses.
Wow.
Well, that's why you hear so much of, when people do pen tests and everything, and they have to explain their findings to these C-level executives. The only way you get through to them about the weight of the issue at hand is by putting a dollar amount on it. Because if you tell them, oh, like it'll kill your, entire network or whatever, they're gonna be like, okay, whatever, like that doesn't mean anything to them. But if you sit back and you go, you will literally lose millions of dollars if your entire network crashes because X, Y, and Z are gonna become, inoperable, then they're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, then we need to jump on that, but we need to do it in the most cost-effective way possible. And it's like,
here's the deal. This is what we do wrong as a community. Okay, when we brief other people, we need to understand they have no idea what we're talking about.
oh yeah,
they have no idea what we're talking about. So you have to translate, like you were saying, in a way that they understand. If you're talking to a CEO, he could care less what Log4j and JNDI and all. He doesn't care. How is this going to affect me? What do I need to do? Okay. 3 questions. Always answer those questions: the who, the what, and why. Okay. And how does it impact me? And if we're able to decouple the technology that we know and be able to concentrate on what the message that we're trying to do, things are going to get a little bit better. But right now, a lot of the people that are communicating, CISOs, directors, managers, they try to make themselves the smartest person in the room. And you can't do that. You got to humility. This is what you need to do. Boom. Okay, and that's what we have to do. But like Davin said as well, is we need to unite as a community. If company one gets hit with something, we need to be able to not keep that to ourselves. We need to be able to share that.
Yeah.
Now, we have the ISACs and those types of things, but sometimes you got to pay for access to these things. So how are we sharing with our community the things that are happening to us? And there are some areas that we can, use, like the pulses and MISP and stuff like that. But the real information that we need to do to share across the nation and across the companies and across each other, we need to be able to communicate that in a way and build up a system so that we can enable a national defense or international defense or a group collective defense. And that's something that needs to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and it goes down to the very basics even, because I can't tell you the amount of times that I walk into my office and I see a post-it note with a password on it. And I'm like, come on, it's 2022, guys.
Well,
It's
a lot
like
of that
basic
goes back
security.
to training your end users too. I mean,
Security
yeah.
versus convenience.
Well, but the thing is, like, I mean, I
It's not
even
a
came
password.
from a company, and I won't name them or anything, but I mean, we didn't do any end user training for that kind of stuff. Like, we gave everybody freaking email, and we never once ran phishing campaigns. What the hell are you doing? And I even brought it up to my boss, and he was just like, well, there's a spreadsheet, or a PDF that you can look at on our homepage. Nobody's going to look at that. Like, you need to have training that is mandatory.
Yeah, quarterly or biannual PowerPoint presentations don't count.
Yeah,
No,
no, they're
you
so
can't put it on
outdated.
a homepage that somebody's going to go to for half a second and then they're going to leave. Like, my boss even asked me, he's like, well, how often do you see that? I'm like, I see it every day, but I'm there for a split second before I go into another website, whether it's our ticketing system or whatever. Like, I'm not going to sit there and, and if I'm in your help desk, part of your IT group is not looking at this, your end user sure as shit isn't.
Well, I think Kalila and I spoke about that in one of the shows that we were in, about the training regimen in the way that GRC, says you have to have training. Check. But how is the best way to train people? Kalila, if you want to talk some.
There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I can't speak to what the best way is, because I've done it a lot of different ways. But again, I think having a training program and then also revisiting that maybe every other year. Do you need to update some information? Is there things that have changed? Are you teaching them how to spot phishing emails? Are you having little practice, things within that training that actually gives them the hands-on to be able to say, okay, if I was to see this email come across my desk, what are some things that I would pick out of that email and see how many they're getting right and getting wrong? It's eye-opening, because again, phishing campaigns are really great. However, they do you no good if you do not have teaching at the end of those phishing campaigns. A lot of that is what's being missed. Yeah, we're doing the phishing campaigns. Yeah, they're reporting them sometimes, and some people are not. Some people are clicking on them and entering in credentials. But how do we make that a teachable moment? How do we take that information and then become, take that as a tool to teach our end user, to teach our people? It's not just sitting them in front of a computer and saying, here's some software, do some training, and then we just throw our hands up. Okay, sign on the dotted line, we're done. You have to really be involved with it. You have to really put in the work to say our training is important. It is very important. And a lot of people come up with these training regimens and they sit them on a website and people do them and they check a box and then they move on with their life and they never think about it again. So it's just, how can we make that different? How can we make that better?
And
I
how do
will-
we use the carrot, not the stick?
Right.
Because you've got some programs that are just to collect metrics. How many people open it? How many people closed it? How many people clicked on it? And then other people use these things, and I've seen it myself, where you miss two, and the next thing they do is they're writing you up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, I think what they need to do, and I'm gonna. I just actually did some training for some of this stuff for the company that I work for, and I actually commended my director on the training. I said the training was fantastic. It was involved. You actually had to click and stuff, but it was like animated and cartoon. It was like based around like Jurassic Park or some shit. Like it was actually fun to do. And I think when you do it like that, where it actually kind of engages and makes people, even somewhat interested in the training, you can't just be like, put an email and be like, well, click on the areas you think are, red flags. Like, no, you have to engage your people in it. And I think if you do that yearly and you do phishing campaigns, even biannually, if you have people that click on the emails, for whatever reason, they click on links, they open attachments, whatever it is. Afterwards, you run them through another training saying, okay, these were things that you did that were wrong. And this is why. And go in and explain to them and then go, these were other red flags that you didn't, maybe realize or didn't see, but they're just as important as some of these other things that you actually did notice and did interact with. But it's just, it literally just goes back to the user training. We are not training our end users on this stuff. And it's two things. Either our IT group is to blame because they should be the ones that are setting this stuff up to send out to the end users, getting with the CEOs or whatever managers.
And
And then
that's
I think
hard
another
to,
thing, huh?
yeah, that's hard to just place the blame on one group because collectively it should be, like the security team. It should be not just IT. It's kind of a little bit of everybody that's involved in IT in different areas of IT as well. Plus your managers. This is something that we all can be responsible for. It's not something that only IT can protect us from. We all have to be involved in that. And then I saw a comment that I wanted to kind of touch down on about the disciplinary action. The problem with the disciplinary action is we're not even giving them the tools to be successful. And then we want to reprimand them when they click on a phishing email 2 or 3 times. And that is not going to work because what is going to happen is now they're going to report every damn thing. Do you really want that? You know what I mean? Because that's not going to help the situation either. Like we have to come to some type of consensus where we can teach in a way that's effective. I don't know exactly what that is. I just have a few ideas, but again, we have to find a better way because what we're doing right now, just sending out the phishing emails and then saying, you click that again, now you're in trouble. Now you lose your job over a phishing email, but we're not really training you properly on how to spot these, but we want you to just know from these videos.
And let's remember that not everybody in a company uses a computer the same way, and that there's different people that have different access. So Andrew, thank you very much for IAM, but you've got HR people, you've got finance people, and they have different access, and they have a different, like Davin said, different threat model for each person. Why are we teaching and training people in security with the same freaking testing regimen for everybody? So
Eric's right too. I think one of the nice things, so the new company that I work for, right, I log in to just set up my laptop and everything. First thing I saw was they use a company called KnowBe4, right? And so those who don't know who KnowBe4 is, they customize security awareness training for you, right? Roger Grimes is one of the guys that I watch a lot, to learn more about things like MFA, like how it can be hacked and everything, especially from an identity perspective, right? And I was so pleasantly surprised to see them on there to provide security awareness training. Whereas, as Kalia said, as Eric said, it's more customized, right, to your people. So I'm very excited to see that kind of training versus the older security training that's just more outdated, like that's across the board for everybody. That can either be, as Meg said, boring as hell, where you just watch the same video, click on a couple of things. I've been on some security awareness training where it's like, if you can skip it, like you answer 4 or 5 questions, you're done, right? And that doesn't help out anyway too, because me versus, let's say, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, right? And maybe I tell them the answers because it takes a lot of time away from them. Doesn't help anybody in terms of that perspective. So security awareness training definitely is something that's very more out in the forefront in terms of helping people out and really show them the value, or basically what can happen, right, if you don't take it seriously from that perspective. And again, as Davin said earlier, yearly doesn't work. Has to be quarterly. You got to hammer it into people to understand that, understand how to recognize things and what to do when you don't know what's going on, what to press. Older companies I've been a part of, they added a little phishing little phishing icon in Outlook. Click on it. So what? You have a group that will investigate for you. Doesn't hurt you at all. You know what I mean? That's like a start.
Yeah, and I mean, and to Make's point, I mean, yeah, you have to. It needs to be. It needs to be quarterly. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be something that you just can't skip past, or find a way to just push on through to the next whatever uh the next time you need to be compliant. So
right.
yeah,
A lot of people are like, oh crap, it's that time again. Shit, I'll just do it. Yes, I said shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll just do it. Oh god, 30 minutes, whatever. Bang, bang,
but
boom, we're done.
to that point, the powers that be, from directors or supervisors or whatever, they also need to make it where it's a priority. So for example, you can't have meetings where the manager's like, all right guys, we got a lot of shit to do, but just hurry up and get this done,
Right.
because when you do that, you're letting the people know that it's not necessarily important to get done. You need to say now if you say, hey, I know you're working on something right now, but I need you to put that show the importance of it, right? Like, hey, look, I get you're writing your report today, or I get you're doing this today, but I need you to take 3-4 hours and knock this out. It's important. It's for compliance purposes. And honestly, I don't know if we incentivize it. I mean, another company I used to work for, people who did a streak got certain things, like especially when we moved to remote. So people who did report and reported accurately and didn't miss stuff, they may get like a Grubhub gift card or something like that. Some little things just to incentivize it, just to say, hey, we
And
appreciate you taking this seriously.
And
But
I've seen a good one.
something.
Well, and I want to say one real quick thing, because I know Caleb's got something to say, is we need to, and I don't have the answer for it, but we need to find a way to get our end users, whether that's other managers, HR, your standard employee, whatever. We need to find a way to get them to care about the cybersecurity, because that is one thing that I have come across even when I wasn't working in security, was people just don't care. They don't think it pertains to them. And if it doesn't pertain to their daily job, then it's off on the back burner. They just, they're like, oh, I'll do the training, but I'm not going to worry about it. And that's where I think we need to make sure that we enact some sort of change, get it interesting to them, explain to them the dangers and and everything from it, because that's just another thing that I've come across, working with this stuff, that it's just they don't care about it.
Yeah. Everybody hold your thought real quick. I know, Eric, I can see you just primed, ready to go. And I know that there's, just a ton of wisdom ready to come. But everybody, we're doing a giveaway to celebrate. So put in hashtag yikes, because yikes, 2022, potential yikes. Put hashtag
I thought we
yikes.
were going to use porn.
There's a 1 month try hack me, and then there are 5 codes for the XSS Rats boot camp. So jump in there. We will draw, and then we'll get after it. So hashtag yikes. Also, like and
Exclude
subscribe.
me.
Why not? And then and yeah. So sorry, that is the interruption. Consider it an ad break. Everybody else, go. You know, whatever thoughts you had. Let's.
I just want to quickly jump in real quick about Devin made a good point, Eric, too, about us collaborating together from the industry side of the house to be like, hey, how can we share knowledge? So there's an organization called the IDSA, which is the Identity Defined Security Alliance. They have all these big companies in cybersecurity, in IAM, right? You have your Beyond Trust's, your CyberArks, right? All these different companies come together, even like, ForgeRock, right? F5, all these different companies coming together to share knowledge together, to expand on the identity side of the house. When you talk about, regular identity, privilege identity, CIAM, which is customer identity access management, all these different things. These companies, they are competitors, but come together to do blogs, campaigns, webinars. This is a start, right? Where I'm very happy to get, watch these videos and be part of this organization too, that I hope other cybersecurity, different fields, right, or different, disciplines within cybersecurity could do the same thing, right? To can expand our skill set and knowledge to defend properly, because, this is something that would never happen 2-3 years ago that is now taking effect, where these big IAM companies are coming together, and cybersecurity, other parts of it come together to educate people, right? And to bring this to the forefront, that they help understand what are the attack vectors, what can we do, and share the knowledge, right? Without saying, oh, as Eric and Davin said to, and others, like, oh, Log4j, for example, SailPoint having to come in and log into their own portal to get the information on how to update their stuff. Come on, it's ridiculous, right? It needs to be public out the door. Just make it free for everybody to log in and fix the vulnerability from that side of the house. Something like that, right, needs to be expanded too, to help, expand the knowledge for everybody.
Yeah, and in my opinion, we should gamify security a little bit. In my opinion, security is something that is of all levels. And what we used to do at the previous company that I worked at is we sort of made it like the houses of Hogwarts, of Harry Potter. Like we had the devs, the analysts, the testers, and every time one group implemented something that was good for security, they got extra points. And if they clicked open like a phishing email, they got negative points. And then at the end of the year, every time the group that won got like something cool, like a restaurant visit or something like that.
I like
And
that.
I definitely think that we should be careful that we don't make it like like creating engaging course content is something that is extremely difficult, and especially when it comes to something that you're not going to be using every day. So I think we should make it a little bit more realistic. Like, for example, just let somebody come in and steal all of those post-its with passwords, or steal the wallets of people, or steal their cell phones. And it's like, that's something real. That's something that they will remember, because they'll be panicking looking for their cell phone. And I think that those kind of things are something that we should, as CEOs at least, put more heavily into. Now, I also think that there's a big difference on the blue teaming side, because of course I think we should be prepping people for more their how do you call this, operational security. That's basically what we're prepping them for. Not real. It's not gonna be you're gonna be protecting from hackers. No, you're gonna be doing these basic things which will protect you better from hackers, like a passphrase instead of a password. It's something that's so simple yet so effective. And if we can just implement that at everybody at a very basic level, we should be showing them how easy it is to brute force a password. Like we should be, at least that's how I did it. I set up a Windows computer with a password cracker, and I got it in like 15 minutes while I was talking about my course. And that got them very impressed. They were like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think in 2022, we're going to, or I'm hoping, I'm sending this message every time I speak, is that we got to go back to basics in
Mhm.
security. We got to go back to basics. I had a conversation with some national security folks, and they were all like, "Oh, how do we protect against ransomware?" And I just like threw all my stuff on the desk, and I said, "I know." And they were like, "You know?" And I said, "Yeah, backup and recovery, people. If you have backup and recovery, which is what we used to do in GRC, it was a major thing. You had to test your backups. You had to, do your backups in the monthly, weekly, daily, grandfather, whatever. I forgot how we called it. But we would back up everything. And everybody said about 10 years ago, oh, backups are too expensive. It's too expensive to keep all this stuff and to do this stuff. Well, guess what? A 2 terabyte drive is now under $100. We can go back to that whole concept of backup and recovery. Why? When a ransomware happens, tell the ransomware team, go do this.
Say it, Eric. Just say
Go
it,
do
man.
this. Okay, I almost did it. Sorry, studio. Go give him the fist.
And y'all were worried about me.
Go give him the fist and say, go away. We just wipe everything and reimage. Guess what? After you do that a couple times, they're not going to be making any money. They're going to go look for another strategy to make money. Go back to basics.
Again,
Or they'll find another sucker.
Well, but again, you have to explain that the cost of backing up your stuff is going to be technically less overall than losing the information on that. That stuff is technically priceless. Like, you lose that, you're losing a ton of information that you can no longer get back. And that all comes back to explaining to them in a dollar amount. This is why.
Did you see the upgrade that happened? They didn't have a backup, and they lost 75 terabytes of research data that they didn't have any backup.
Oh, but that was like the hospital down in Atlanta or whatever that got hit with the ransomware, and they're like, we don't have backups or anything. We're just gonna pay them, and it's like, what? Like, why? If you would have had backups, okay, yeah. So we have ransomware. Let's back everything up, and then we're back to being kosher, and then figure out their attack vector, figure out how they got in with the ransomware, and mitigate the risk.
Right, or spend the amount of time
tonight. I don't know why.
Just passionate about Meek. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, or just everything overall. It's like, or even the amount of time you're spending to pay people to get back your data. Right, that's the same thing, right? You're losing man hours, or people hours, trying to pay another company or somebody else and say, hey, go give me back all of that data, right? And you're losing that time while trying to figure out how do I, have that vector. So you're losing time there too. So it's all, time you can't get back. It's just like money. And I think the overall message goes back to leadership, right? I think, Davin started talking about it earlier, right? And, Eric did too, about CEOs need to be educated. So it comes from the top down, right? In the leadership principles, a lot of people listen to when you have upper management people telling you what to do, being a little more educated from there, right? And it trickles down. I think that's where it kind of resonates more for the, the small people or the peons or the lower people to be like, oh, okay, I should do this, right? This makes much more sense for me, versus saying like, if I'm your manager saying, hey man, just get it done, you know what I mean? But if like my CEO comes from them, then you're like, oh, I got to take it seriously because my CEO cares about it, right? Like that. Mm-hmm. So I think hopefully that helps out too in terms of our job, as Eric talks about, soft skills, right? To use simple analogies, explain what you're trying to do to them, and then teach them how to talk to somebody in their simple way, and they get it and come down that way.
So Andrew,
yes,
let me teach you one human soft skill. We don't call them peons. We call them associates or team members.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, damn, that's how you feel?
Busted.
At the end of the year, like, we don't do that in corporate America. You can't just say that to people. Like,
I was called a peon before, so that's why I used it, right? And I thought it was funny. I would never call my people peons ever. They're my
that is lightweight, like low key derogatory.
Teammates, associates,
Yeah, I was
Partners.
just like,
They're my teammates. Of
don't
course.
please don't say that at your new job.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
never say that. These are people work under me.
Them
When you're coming with me, I'm nice to
plebes.
you, I promise.
Andrew's over here just like, look at all these network admin peasants.
Leonardo hit it right on the money in the comments. He said red flags. Hashtag red. That is a red flag. Oh my god.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh,
I apologize.
yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna have to check out, y'all. I cannot stop coughing. And this NyQuil is kicking in. So speaking of drugs, I'm definitely it was so good to see everybody again. Happy New Year. I had to join in, even though I'm not feeling too good still. I still wanted to join in and just kind of link up with all my brothers and just say hi, Happy New Year, send my love, and just chat with y'all for a little bit. But I'll be tuned in on my phone, so keep the show going.
All right,
We
get some
appreciate
Feel
rest.
you.
better.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Feel
hope
better.
you feel better, Clara.
So actually, let's go ahead and do one last reminder, everybody. Hashtag yikes, because yikes in the chat to enter the giveaway. We've talked about a lot of terrifying things for 2022. I feel like, we're definitely focusing on a business environment, which is certainly more relatable for just about everybody watching. But in the case of critical infrastructure or SCADA systems where downtime is intolerable, how much more, how much more does this threat kind of expand outward where, doing something like a backup or doing something like an upgrade, especially now, given everything else that's going on, is the threat level increased compared to before?
The threat level hasn't changed. Okay. The amount of people attacking ICS, SCADA, and OT, IoT systems remains, in the same curve that we've had. The challenge is that as new OT systems and other systems are more interconnected, they pose a different vector of attack, or so what you're seeing now is easier access to the SCADA systems versus the old fashioned where they were completely segregated in their own network, not connected to the internet. So you're seeing some of that interconnection because of the functionality of it, because it helps the companies be more productive. But by them doing that, they're opening another area of attack. So you're going to see that more. And then, of course, because you have the old-fashioned and the new interconnected in those systems, now you can attack something that's less secure, older technology, and then pivot into the more secure areas. There's different ways of doing that, and you have it in the attack framework. You have it on the NIST 162, the new one for OT. So you've got all of the new ones, and I think I got that one wrong, but you don't have as much of a change in the system. It's just more systems under connection. That's my opinion. But we are going to see more. We are going to see more attacks in that critical infrastructure side this year, and yeah, like Leonardo just said, your network is as secure as your least secure device, and that's
low hanging fruit.
Makes my job easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and the XSS router both kind of like, very good.
Well, that's what you go after first, though. And I'm sure both of them can agree. It's like when you're pen testing, you go after that stuff that's simple first before you go after the more intricate stuff that might involve a little bit more work. Because you're like, if I can get in real quickly through this, why would I spend more time doing this?
Yeah.
Well, especially if depending on the scope, like if there's someone actively monitoring while we're testing, why would I try to do something that's more intricate that can probably set off a logging event or something, set off some alarm when I can just go, oh, default creds open on this port? Oh, sure. Why
Right,
not?
or oh look, they're using this. Let me try the default password just to see how
Yeah.
many people said did not change it. You know what I mean? Like that easy attack vector right there, as Uncle Rat said too, and Davin, you know, obviously it's what are some things that people don't do? I'm not gonna change the default password on my router, for example.
Oh,
right?
look, server side request forgery. Oh yeah, they don't think it's a threat because it's a medium. And what impact can you show from that? Oh, but if I can port scan from there internally, sure, okay, sure. You know, it's
Yeah.
they just need to. I don't know. Like I said, just get it together.
Well,
Yeah,
let's go ahead and get some of these some names spinning. Let Makeshyft back in real quick. And while we're before we finish up, you know, we'll kind of get some you know, things that you are looking forward to 2022. I almost said 2021, man. It's really rolling. But anyway, yeah, let me put these names in real quick and also share my screen before I forget.
Did you fix the noise, or are we going to have to clap?
We do the drum roll.
Oh, I definitely don't have like the yeah. I'll need you guys to clap. All right, so this is going to be for the Try Hack Me 1 month giveaway. All right, ready?
They can't
No.
win.
I told
there
you
you
get
go.
me out
Yes.
of there.
There you go.
Hey! Okay, give me 1 second to write this down, and then we will spin once again.
Take my name off.
Congrats, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary.
Congrats, Mary.
Congrats.
And I'll keep it up here because, and you know what? I mean, sorry, my wife. You know what? Actually, here's the thing, though.
Never say sorry, my wife.
Never. Hey, 2022 is off to a bang, right? So since we have 5 codes of the XSS Rats Bootcamp and we only have 5 names left, congratulations, everybody! You are all winners! Yay!
Hercules.
Very excited. See, there's the applause. What am I doing? I'm like, I need to just.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Check out Parker's comment.
Where are we at? Oh, okay.
2 months of Try Hack Me, man. Parker, you're awesome, dude.
Parker,
All right, yeah. Let's
Nice.
get that on. And people are here. Hashtag yikes if you haven't been in this drawing just yet.
I'm a winner.
Mommy, I'm a winner.
Yikes. And I'll reshare here in a second. So we'll give him a few minutes. So let's go bottom row. So Exodus Rat, Davin, and Andrew. What's something that you guys are looking forward to in 2022 while we wait for people to comment hashtag yikes and like this video?
Oh man. I'm looking forward to seeing with everybody what will we all come up with, right? The last 4, 5, maybe 6 months of 2021 has been real divisive, to say the least. And they can all still kick rocks, don't get me wrong, but but for those who are like-minded and actually want to, you know, do great things, I'm I'm rooting for all of them. I'm rooting for Eric. I'm rooting for Studio and Make. I'm rooting for Andrew, Kiki, XSS Rat. I'm rooting for people who aren't here. Tish. I'm rooting for John Brett. I'm rooting for Tyrone Wilson. I'm rooting for Mary Galloway, Marcus J. Carey, the team at Hacker Valley. I'm rooting for all of them because I know, in conversations I've had with them on and offline, they genuinely want to share their time and their knowledge to make things better in the landscape of security, as well as make more people have a better lifestyle in this career field. So I'm rooting for all of those. I will always call out or have some choice words for those who I think are trying to cheat the space or cheat the people. But that's not trying to I'm not trying to make that be my focus. Unfortunately, a lot of the people saying a lot of the wrong things seem to have a lot of the louder voices or the bigger platforms or the bigger echo chambers. I haven't quite figured out how to defeat that yet, but all I can do is what I can do. And if you rock with me, cool. If you rock with any of these people here or any of the people that I've listed or other people that I haven't listed that are doing great things, awesome. If not, don't come to me when I told you so, because I'm going to tell you so and you're going to be mad at me. And let's just get that out the way. So kick rocks and go that way.
Dabbing out.
Uncle Rat, do you want to go or do you want me to go, man? He's probably on mute. All right, I'll go real quick. So 2022, what I'm really looking forward to is more passwordless, because I am an identity guy. Microsoft started to do it, right, to expand the passwordless, arena to get more things passwordless. And for those who don't know, what I mean by that is, log into, let's say, your website or whatever, right, to go buy something. Rather than putting on using a password, which is so outdated, use maybe MFA, right, multi-factor authentication. Maybe use your biometrics or some fingerprint, whatever, right, to kind of get access that way, rather than using a stupid password, as Rat said earlier, where it's on a sticky note, right. I'm hoping more adoption of passwordless comes more and more in 2022. Is something that I'm hopeful that other companies, organizations modernize their systems to kind of accept that, option there too, right? It's hopefully it'll be there, but I think passwords will never die, but hopefully more and more adoption or more options will be allowing, companies to do that, right? So that's from a 2022 perspective there. And the second thing is as Dad talked about from career guide, is I'm hoping more companies, institute more mentorship in terms of their people, right? I think, we need to take the time to kind of teach our junior hires, what is that we do, what's the value, what's the point, right? To get them excited about what they want to do. I know May comes in with a lot of passion about like security awareness training, right? Is understanding the value of what you're doing, right? Before I left my old company, I was mentoring two people, two new college hires, explaining them what is IAM, what's the point, what we're trying to do, what's the value, right? And they started to understand more about the questions I asked the customers, right, or stakeholders about what I'm trying to do, to get them excited too, so they can kind of give back when they get older and older in their careers, right? So I'm hoping that in 2022, more companies invest the time to kind of mentor people and really get their people to enjoy what they're doing. Really get the value of why is it that I'm gonna come work for Davin and go and hack this company or pen testing, or why should I document it? Why should I be very thorough in my documentation, right? And kind of give that knowledge to them so they can kind of give that back to other people too. So I think a lot of times when I've seen in my different positions, I've seen that not happen. That to me is such a disservice to our organization, to our companies, to the people that want to come to cybersecurity, right? So I'm hoping in 2022 that all the careers that Davin talked about, that we're educating people in the different disciplines of cybersecurity, that in your job today, those are watching, that you do the same. You grab somebody brand new, you help them out, you say, hey, what do you think about that, when you ask them in the meeting, right? Get them involved, right, to show that you give a shit, right, about them. And then I think that where you'll get people to kind of be receptive and of course bring more people into cybersecurity, even outside of it. So that's my hope for 2022.
That's awesome. That kind of directly comes to my point as well, because I want to in 2022, I want to launch a platform for children to learn ethical hacking. And I want to feed it to them while they're young, basically, because then they're pretty creative and their minds are still malleable. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. And also, of course, to the end of passwords, like you said, I'm really looking forward to that with these complex requirements and everybody reusing the same password everywhere. I'm just looking forward to the end of that, and also possibly to the end of SMS multi-factor authentication, because that has been also deemed unsafe these days, apparently. So there's a lot of exciting things happening, and I think that, like, if you compare it to hacking of a few years ago, they had some really cool things like phone phreaking and all of that stuff. And when cross-site scripting was first discovered, it was freaking amazing. I think we are also at that forefront, but we're just too blind to see it sometimes because there's already been so much research, and we want to reuse that research first before we can come up with our own research. And that's the point where I'm slowly getting towards, is there where I can contribute some research into cross-site scripting for CSTI, for example. So that's what I'm looking at heavily into right now. And I noticed that there are just not a lot of articles out there about CSTI. So that's a perfect way to pick that up.
Yeah, all excellent stuff. All excellent stuff. We will do the last giveaway. This is for 2 1-month Try Hack Me vouchers. So we'll have 2 separate winners, courtesy of Parker. Thank you again, good sir. Appreciate having you here. Let's get this going. All right. So the first winner will be. Dot Robin. All right, let me write this down real quick. 1 sec. Okay, and then the second winner, and then we'll go on with it. Second winner will be Brendan. Congratulations. So for Parker, if you don't mind putting in the chat how they can get in touch with you. Mary, you know how to how to hit me. And then for the XSS, the winners of the XSS Rat, Rat, would you like them to hit you up, or how do you want to set that up?
Yeah, you can tweet at me, you can mail me info@thexssred.com, or you can mail Studio Sec. I'll make sure that he has the coupons as well.
Cool beans. And you can catch me on Twitter as well @sec_studio. So Maekshyft and Eric, what's something that you guys are looking forward to in 2022?
Well, I think a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about here, the education, making security personal, which is one of my mantras for this year, is stop talking to the echo chamber for us as creators and start reaching out to other people that need to hear the message. At least from my perspective, is what are the people that need to? Brandon put in their chat something that I say a lot, which is, you lock your doors, you lock your windows, but you don't protect your online life the same way. Okay. And now it's so important that you have your online life as protected. The other part is that we're doing a really bad messaging of what cybersecurity is. And we say cybersecurity, jobs in cybersecurity. I want to work in cybersecurity. But as you all know, cybersecurity is 50 different type of fields. Okay. So we're doing a bad messaging. We need to start talking about cybersecurity as healthcare. You've got doctors, you've got nurses, you've got receptionists, you've got x-ray technicians. We are like that. So cybersecurity equals healthcare, and then all the different things that we do. So we need to start teaching people that so that they understand that cybersecurity, you don't have to be a hacker to be in cybersecurity. You don't have to be a SOC analyst to be in cyber. Well, you have to be a SOC. So you can be different things in cybersecurity, and you don't need to learn how to code to do this one job. I did that for Devin. You don't need to be extremely technical to be in GRC. There's all cybersecurity is for everybody, and you just have to have the passion. And like we said, each one teach one, each one bring one up. I think Denzel said that in one of his speeches. And we need to understand that even if you've been in the field for 2 years, you've been in the field 2 years more than the person that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Teach them, train them, get them to be excited as you are in this field, to do that. And the last thing that I really want to figure out how to do is to teach middle and junior seniors out in the field that you don't need a purple unicorn in those positions. You don't need to have a guy with a doctorate degree in cybersecurity to read logs. Okay? Stop looking for purple unicorns. Okay? There's a lot of people. There's 600,000 open jobs because we're looking for purple unicorns. But there's 600,000 people graduating out of colleges, out of boot camps, out of different trainings that have the passion, that have the capacity to be in this field. And they just want a chance to get that entry level position. Let's do that. Let's bring them up. Let's train them, and let's make them your purple unicorns. But give them a chance.
Yeah. You'd be surprised at how loyal, how far that goes as far as loyalty. Everybody talks about job loyalty. Like, don't get me wrong, I no longer promote it, but I'm just saying I don't. We like Eric said, how many hundreds of thousands of jobs? If someone's not going to know your worth or value you, I'm pretty sure one of those 600,000 will, right? But to Eric's point, one of the things that people do look at is how well they treated me during my tenure. So if you say, man, this company gave me a shot when no one else did, you might be willing, just for that nostalgia or whatever you want to call it. Actually, you might not look at more pay or something immediately. You might want to hold out and you give them the first chance, or you give them a shot to try to, make it up to you or something like that. We now is just kind of a what can you do for me type thing on both ends, right? And I think that started on the employee side because of the employer, because of things like at will employment, and we can let you go for no reason, and we can make you we're gonna run you into the ground, and then when time comes for a review, we'll tell you, oh well, we didn't hit our mark. Sorry, you don't get a raise this year, right? But everybody else got bonuses and crap like that. So now that naturally turned into the employees saying, well, fine, I'll just go where I'm valued, right? Like I said, I had a tech owner of a company literally tell me over breakfast, at least he was nice enough to buy me breakfast, was that there was no loyalty in the tech field. And I took that and I was like, okay, so you just showed your hand, right? I don't know if his intentions were to tell me that and think I was going to go, oh yeah, thank you for that. No, I took that and go, oh, okay. So now when the time came and it was like, yo, how are you going to leave? I'm like, yo, you said there's no loyalty, right? Changed my whole mindset. So you have to do right by your people. You have to. If you have good people, like, and then they try to hide behind certain things like, oh, well, I know you knocked out all your goals now and you did it in half the time, but we can't even talk about a raise until your annual review. Why? I hit all my KPRs or whatever the hell you want to call them. You should, I think companies need to actually start implementing more spot bonuses and spot promotions. Like, you did a hell of a job. Here, take this little bump right here. It might not be much, but guess what? Going back to my original point, it shows that person, wow, they were willing to do something. Even if you're lying, even if you could have done more, but you did something, it's still like, you did something for me when you didn't have to. And everybody's worried about their bottom line. The companies are worried about their bottom line. Employees are worried about their bottom line. And that's why I was going to say something to Eric earlier when he was talking about teaching people to bring them up. But we need to teach people. I agree 100%, but we need to teach people how to earn the bag rather than running out to get the bag. Because that's the focal point. That's the fight you see right now. Everybody's only they equate 600, 700, some odd thousand jobs out there. That means I can just run out there and fake it till I make it to get six figures. No, because guess what? There's a reason why they'll hold out. Like you said, they're holding out for that unicorn. So if you go out there and you put yourself out there like you're the unicorn, and then come to find out you're not even like a donkey. What's gonna happen?
Donkey.
Hey, donkey, come in, donkey.
Donkey.
But so I think yeah, we need to teach people. To Andrew's point, we need to do more mentorship, but I think the mentees also need to understand that we're not. If you get a mentor, be grateful for the mentor because they are volunteering their time and resources to help you. But understand that as a mentor, it's not my job to tell you what you want to hear. It's my job to tell you what's going to get you through that door, what you need to hear to get you through that door. And if you have a problem with what I said because it doesn't align with what someone else in your echo chamber said, see my previous statement about kicking rocks.
Correct.
I just real quickly on what Diamond said about mentorship, right? And that's my next video. I was talking about like how I got where I was, right? The mentorship mentee is more like bring the value, right? If I'm a mentor trying to give you some information, I'm trying to challenge you, right, to get you where you want to be. When we talk again, my expectation of you is, what did you do? Like, how, if I told you go do like X, Y, go learn X, Y, and Z, right? When I meet you again, I expect you to tell me, oh, I learned, how, what privileged access management was and what are some common use cases for that, right? Just to show you that, I took your advice, I took your suggestions, and I'm learning from it to show you that, I'm valuing your time, right? Because there's a lot, right? It's all voluntary, right? What I do, what we all do when we mentor people is give you our time to help you be successful, right?
Mentorship is not spoon feeding.
Right, exactly. It's me like, I want you to challenge you this, and I expect you to come back and tell me what you did to it. So I'm like, oh, cool, this is going to work, right? And just for those mentee people, if you find a mentor that you don't jive with, go find someone else, right? It's okay to have a couple of mentors, or even like mentors who are younger than you. I have a mentor who I talk with. He's actually one of my good friends. He's younger than me, right? But he owns a business. I respect him 100%, and he's younger than me, and I value him all the time on some of my questions about how I progress, right? I can care less that that by the age too. So go back to Don's point, and I'll shut up after this. It's more just make sure as a mentee you're bringing what you want from the mentor. And again, sometimes he or she might tell you something that might hurt your feelings or might challenge you. Step up and take it, because that's how you grow.
And always remember that a good mentor-mentee relationship, both the mentor and the mentee are learning. And if you're not humble enough to understand that you're learning from them as much as you're learning from you, then you're not ready to be a mentor. Okay? And that's very important.
Makeshift, you got anything you're looking forward to in 2022?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as it was last year. I mean, or at least towards the end of last year, I'm looking forward to helping more people get into this industry in any way that I can. It's whether it's, helping them get a job or helping them learn a new skill or helping them pass a certification or whatever it is, like giving them the resources to be able to do that. Because, you know, like Eric said, like we have all these open positions, you know, and you have to kind of, I mean, it's high competition. I mean, you're trying to prove to not only yourself that you know this stuff, but you're also trying to prove to HR and the person, you know, or the company that's hiring you that you know this stuff as well. You know, so it's like that's what we're doing at Republic of Hackers is we are trying to train people and get them, you know, knowledgeable and up to speed on all these different things, you know, and letting them ask us questions, trying to provide them the right resource and everything to get those jobs, to pass those certs, to make themselves more valuable in the eye of an employer. And I just hope that in the coming year that we can just continue to keep doing that and, you know, and hopefully start filling some of those positions for people.
All good stuff. All good stuff. Well,
And what about you, Studio? What are you looking for in the new year for us?
absolutely nothing. It's going to be terrible.
This whole podcast has been chalked.
Ha ha! Got you. Nah, yeah. Oh no. I'm excited about a lot of things. I think that, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for negative things to occur. And I think that that will make our jobs more important, not only just by the function of what we're doing, but by the way we're doing it and being positive. It's, yeah, you know, I'm kind of focused on just being, you know, being diligent with this next year and growing the most that I possibly can here this next year. Because I think, you know, we're coming into a pretty important period of time. And you know we need to be on our P's and Q's. So, but with all that, if you're watching, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being up this late on a Monday. I appreciate it. Gentlemen, thank you for jumping in. Kalila, if you're still watching this, thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate it. You know, we've got a lot of exciting stuff ahead. I know I just sounded like a complete downer. I'm very optimistic. And I think that there's a lot of things to be very excited about, especially in the near future. So, you know, stay tuned. There's a lot going on. Very excited, and we will see you all next time.